Avalanche just had a huge upgrade to their infrastructure, but what is the price doing? This is around the blockchain. All right, let's go ahead, get right into it. We have a fantastic lineup on today. Can't wait to show everyone. We're going to go ahead and start with the green box. There is no chart or indicator he can't handle. Talking about the calf man himself, Frankie Candles. Frankie, how are you doing today? Are you in the building? Are you home? Where are you?
Nobody knows, but I will say I'm excited as my first guest appearance on ATB. I was saying before, I've hosted it. I've never been a guest, so super pumped. Thank you for having me.
All right, well, it is your birthday, so we're going to go ahead and start you off with 2 points. And if Frankie, if you don't win, I don't know what to say at this point. Also on today, some would call him one mean SOB, but I call him a pretty cool SOV. Talking about Firoz. Firoz, how are you on? How are you doing today, man?
I'm good, thanks, brother. I'm good. Happy to be here as always on a Thursday, so we're looking forward to it.
All right, Thursdays are not the worst days; they're the best days. And why? Because we have an awesome guest on, Crypto Blood. He has the hat on from Detroit, but his favorite pizza is actually DiGiorno's. Just don't tell anybody. Crypto Blood, are you in any juicy trades right now?
Sure. I'm in like 6 trades. I don't know which direction though. Bloodanalytics.com. Check us out.
All right. You have those tight stop losses though, so you should make money as long as there's a good move in either direction.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Maybe, hey, if you follow his channel, you get to see some of these trades that he's setting up. So make sure you go ahead and do that.
Right.
All right. Today, we're going to be talking about the privacy dangers and, hey, should blockchain be able to have any secrets? CFTC certainly doesn't want you to have that. Also, Avalanche, huge mainnet upgrade and Lens protocol. But let's just get right into the privacy dangers. This is CFT Commissioner Christy Romero. And they just had a City Week conference in London 2 days ago where they had some remarks about the anonymity of crypto. Makes it very attractive for illicit, illegal, shadowy hackers. That's right. It is only used by criminals. If you listen to them, while the blockchain can provide some traceability and transparency, the use of mixers and technology to design and enhance anonymity presents a substantial risk, all caps and bold there. Now, Firoz, I know we're going to see this FUD storm just probably forever, but is it really something that we should worry about? Do you really see the CFTC or some EU regulators really clamping down under anonymity being the major issue? Is it going to be a bigger issue than, say, power usage, for instance?
No, look, I mean, it's the same old story that we get when we hear about crypto, that it's, being used for nefarious reasons. It's, criminal activity, all of these things. And like we've seen time and time again, and I've got some facts with me here, DZ, today, just to make sure that I'm not.
Did you get it from the books behind you? Were they from the bookshelf?
It was the Twilight Saga one, actually.
Oh man, okay. Yeah. So what is up with Jacob?
Well, let me tell you, this is what's up, right? Over the last 20 years, okay, we've seen around $200 billion worth of fines and penalties around illegal activity. So well over close to 400 cases, right? Financial crime for banks, like for the likes of Bank of America, JP Morgan, Citigroup, all of these guys have been fined in the region of around 200 billion over the last 20 years. So, and that's for things like fraud, for illegal activity, for violations of regulations, all of these things, right? So it's already happened, and is happening with major larger institutions already. And so for comments like this to come out to say that, crypto is only used for illegal activities, look, in every industry, somebody will always find an opportunity to run a scam, to run illegal activities. I don't think you're ever going to get away from that. And again, saying that for crypto, it doesn't really apply at the end of the day. I mean, they can say that as much as they want, but saying that, nonetheless, I think this will come again and again. And the problem is that we have within this space, because obviously it's a very volatile space. We see a lot of scams happening. We see a lot of scams happening, in the millions, if not the hundreds of millions. And we see lots of exploits happening. And unfortunately, those exploits are also happening, by wallets that we can't track. So there's always that element. But that's the whole point of the space that we're in. Not saying for the scams, but we're in because it's decentralized. We're in because we wanted something of our own. We want to have, self-sovereignty and all of these things. So in my opinion, again, we're going to hear a lot of this, and I think it will just come and go as we see, with all the major institutions as well.
All right, and I agree. Really good point there, pointing out $200 billion in illicit activities. And let's not forget J.P. Morgan continued to bank with Epstein years after his conviction there. So we're no stranger to banks just being nefarious. But I want to share this headline because you look at this headline and then see the graphic accompanying it. Pose national security risk. I feel like should I be in Guantanamo Bay for using Bitcoin one time? Because that's how I'm starting to feel. Well, crypto blood, it appears that we're trying to make some solutions. We do have soul-bound protocols. That's like Shang Tsung coin. Are there some protocols in the future where it does tie identity and, it does have, some semblance of easing of anonymity? Will that be enough to satisfy government regulators, or will it never be enough? They'll always feel that it's too anonymous.
Never too much, never too much, never too much. It's never enough, man. It's never enough. They want all of it. They don't want it. So with privacy, it's kind of like a binary event or a 1 and 0, right? It's either or. You can't have a little privacy. It's either you have privacy or you don't. So I think they want to know everything. They don't want you to have any way to keep things private from them. And so they're just going to keep going at it, chomping at the bit, man. To go off of what Firoz said about the 200 billion, 8.8 billion of that was basically directly from consumers being frauded or defrauded, I should say, in the United States. So it's like 99% of that 8.8 billion was all fiat currency. It wasn't anything to do with crypto. So they're just using this as an excuse. And hey, I think they're going to win. Unfortunately, they're going to win in the US at least. We're not going to be able to escape it for the most part. And if you do, you're going to be breaking the law. I'd say this on my channel all the time. Are you willing to break the law for your privacy? And that is what we're going to get to in the very near future.
All right, you said there's either privacy or no privacy. What about opaque, semi-translucent shower curtains?
Not going to work. Not going to work.
Okay.
They're still going to see your man piece. Still going to see it.
Okay. It's the silhouette that gives it away. All right. Well, speaking of one of my favorite silhouettes, it is Frankie Candles. We used to be roommates, folks. Hey, read between the lines there. Frankie, there's, a lot of talks about this, whether, what is the government going to do? A lot of people are voicing concerns, about, hey, this is going to shut down crypto. This is going to push it overseas. Do you think that this will end up being one of the biggest mistakes the U.S. can do when it comes to our technology and just our economy in general? Are we going to look back and regret our decisions, or will cooler heads prevail and maybe, we'll get some semblance of, hey, crypto's not all bad?
Yeah, I mean, like everybody just said, it's this continued narrative of, crypto's bad. People buy drugs with Bitcoin. Oh my God, the dark web, and it's just like, scams did not start in crypto, and I do think if America doesn't really step up here, we're going to go from a technological leader to starting to trail behind. So it does seem anonymity is so bad. Like, of course it's bad. Of course you think it's bad. They don't want any secrets. They don't want anyone actually having privacy. So yeah, I do think if we continue to move in this direction, I think it's going to be a huge mistake for America. And like I said, we're going to go from a technological leader to just kind of trailing behind everybody, which obviously is not going to be good for the growth of America. And I just think it's bad, but it's not shocking at all. I mean, we've heard this forever, and just the fact that it's like, of course you don't want us to have privacy. Like this is no shock to us. So it's like and same thing like crypto. Scams were not invented, after crypto. People have been getting scammed all the time. Anytime there's a new space or like a new anything, really, like you can think of this with anything. Like when Pokemon cards came out, right? Like now they're making fake Pokemon cards. Now people are getting scammed, spending their money thinking they're buying expensive Pokemon cards. Do you outlaw Pokemon cards because someone got scammed? I think we should try to protect people. I know they're going after things like Tornado Cash, which I get. We have to protect the people, but is that is the best interest? Are we really looking out for the people here, or do we have other goals here? So
interesting that you brought up Pokemon. They just revealed the largest Pokemon scam ever this week. card printing facility had an employee stealing rares just in bulk and then try to bulk send them to a card retailer. They snitched on him, talked to the factory. They figured out what employee it was. So yeah.
Ban Pokemon cards. Shut it down.
You know what? I try to
Can you
trade
imagine
a
the guy
Hitman
in
Chan.
jail?
Okay,
Can you imagine him in jail? Like, yeah, what you in here for? Oh man, I'm doing 10 years for Pokemon cards.
man, you know, I was
Not a
moving
good
that
look.
man, I was moving that
Not a
paper.
good look.
What you talk about moving illicit cash? Nah, cardboard with Pikachu on it. Quite the talks on the cellmate with that one there. All right, let's talk a little Avalanche here. No, not the snow flurries. Talk about the coin, and it is up 5.2% today, coming in at $17.85. So chart looking good. However, when you hit that max chart, you can see, well, it's a little bit better when it was above $125, $130 there. Now, we're seeing a significant decline around 85%. Proof of stake, they just rolled out a key upgrade to their mainnet right now. It is the Cortina mainnet rollout, and it's going to be a key upgrade to better the network for developers and builders. And it's to be the whole blockchain now runs on a single consensus engine. Firoz, I'm somewhat of a novice when it comes to a lot of these technical terms. Once you get past Bitcoin, my eyes start crossing. I got to start counting with my shoes, with my feet and my toes and everything here. It says it runs on a single consensus engine. Does that mean it's easier to break down, is easier to fail, or is this maybe a good upgrade that we should be celebrating? Kind of on the fence here.
Yeah, I haven't really looked into the tech stack, but just by you looking at the terminology, it would imply that it's a simplified way of doing things. Maybe takes out some of the complexity more than anything else. So yeah, I suppose you could look at it from that perspective. But I think the other thing to sort of bear in mind is when we talk about AVAX, as a blockchain, is why should we be paying attention to it, right? And one of the things that sort of came out about it, and one of the reasons why it went so high initially, although we were in a bull run, so most things do go high. But again, we've got innovation, we've got scalability. These are two of the main things or components that we need in the crypto space. When any project comes out, if it's not scalable, it means it's going to slow down and it's just going to fall flat on its face. If it's not innovative, then people aren't necessarily going to flock to the next, greatest and big thing. And so I think the other thing is with AVAX, it's a proof of stake network at the same time. But interestingly enough, one of the majors here is that obviously we've got support for smart contracts. So now you have a use case for it. You've got then, meaning that you've got dApps that can be also built on it. And I think they also claim to be the fastest smart contract platform in the industry as well. So who doesn't claim to be that anyway? But
Yeah.
I think they do, but with near instant finality, which are great words to hear at the end of the day. But I think one of the main things here is, from my perspective, is that I personally don't necessarily see it as it's a rival to Ethereum or anything else. And actually, with like most layer ones and L2s that do come out, I think more than anything else, it is more complementary to this space more than anything else. And I think that's the main thing that we want to look at. I think the other thing also to bear in mind is one of the major sort of fundamentals that you can look at to see whether a blockchain is sort of heading in the right direction, because I'm sure we'll get back to those highs that we've seen, not anytime soon, but certainly in the next bull run, is looking at total value locked. And I think they've got somewhere around 1.5 billion, which to me is a very major indicator that people are using it. People are seeing it as a platform of choice, which means, developers are building on it. And as they're doing that, you're getting more value locked into it because people see the value.
Yeah. And speaking of that, let's see, Crypto Blood, he's bringing up it's 1.55 billion, actually, I believe total value locked. It's way up there. I'm looking at their CoinGecko rank. They're rank 17 in all the crypto market cap there. Can Avalanche get into a top 10 situation? Can its L1 and its total value locked and its upgrade, and can it carry all this good momentum into a possible hanging out with the Doges and the Polygons?
Well, if they hire Polygon's
Biz dev team? Yeah.
biz dev team, hell yeah, they can. I like Avex. Very, very huge fan, a big fan of them. Algo and Avex, I like those as secondary L1s. I think they are a competitor to Ethereum. So I think that's a direct competitor, and it's good to have competition because more competition equals a better um, environment, business environment. It makes everyone iron sharpens iron, so it just makes everyone better. The one thing I do like about AVAX is the finality. I think Feroz just talked about that. They have near instant finality, so that's great. That is great. To compare it, I think Bitcoin is like 30 minutes,
Mm.
60 minutes even. And then I think Ethereum is at 15 minutes to finality, basically meaning the time at which you can't reverse that block or take that block out of the chain. So it's we need those. We need those types of blockchains that have near instant finality, because in the long run it helps security, and then other protocols, or I should say dApps and apps, can build on top of that secure blockchain. So it's a great move. At some point, sure, it could, but at the end of the day, man, it's just like it's like rolling the dice in crypto. You just never know which coin, which project is going to be the King Kong in the future. I said this on a live stream the other day. We can't even be sure that Bitcoin will be that
Hmm.
one. So it is still early, and we'll see how things pan out.
All right, so if you had a diversified portfolio with a little allotment for L1s, you have Avalanche in that allotment. With
Absolutely.
what was the other
Absolutely.
one you said? Did you say H bar or Algo?
Yeah,
You
I
said
like
Algo.
no, Algo, but I like HBAR as well. Just looking for them to be a little bit more decentralized, and they're working on that. But I definitely have Algo in there. I have not Algo, but HBAR in there because it is not a blockchain; it's a DAG. So I'm kind of playing the de-risk, hedging play on that, just to see if that becomes the wave in the future.
All right, and we always support a diversified portfolio. I would recommend some L1s, some L2s, some Bitcoin, Ethereum, and and the like. All right, well, Frankie Candles. Let's talk about the candles real quick. I want to pull up this all-time chart. Man, it would have been good to get in at $3 right around here and ride that all the way up to 125. I'm sure I would have rode all the way down and then sold here. Probably what I would have done, and then bought this local top and then sold this. But I've been sitting on a bag of Avalanche for a while. I just have it just kind of chilling. I'm not staking it. I probably need to look into some of that. But can you talk to me about the price action? What are you thinking for Avalanche? Do you have any Avalanche predictions? What are the charts telling you? What are the candle mafia telling you?
Yeah, for sure. Let me go ahead and I'll pull up a chart for you guys here. And beautiful. I think can you see that?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, so basically, what I would be looking at for AVAX, at least locally, kind of what I would see here is if we can hold above this level here, coming in at about 17, basically $17. If we can hold $17, more specifically $17.30, if we can hold above this level, we are about to print a green dot on the daily here. And again, like this is a little bit more locally. I do think if we print that green dot and we're able to hold support on that level, I do think we could get a move up into this blue box between about 21, $21 and between what is that? Yeah, between 21 and almost $22. Come back up here and revisit these highs at that value area high. And then zooming out a little bit more, if we do wind up getting, a lot of excitement, with AVAX and we start to get a little bit more of a pump, I think we could potentially push up into this 786 level at about $26. Now, no guarantees that we get there, but again, with that daily green dot, which I don't know if I'm tripping or not, but I think that just printed just now. But yeah, if we can get a continued move, I think this green dot could at least push us up to the value area high, and then if not, push up into the second blue box, getting closer to $22-ish. And then, again, locally, I think the highest we can get here before getting some kind of a bigger correction would be that $26 level. But I will say this, still as far as, from the previous bull run, still are just kind of hanging out in this range down here. So if you were looking to accumulate AVAX, I think a lot of people get tripped up thinking like, oh my God, I missed the bottom. I got to wait. But when you just zoom out here, we are just still kind of hanging out at the bottom here.
And that is logarithmic. I think it's important to note that's a logarithmic chart. It's actually much more of a parabolic move up to hit the all-time high.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, very hard to just snipe those bottoms. Just understand that, it's still kind of in an accumulation zone. So in my opinion, not too late to, get a little bit of AVAX before getting that next pump up.
Frankie, is it in your bag?
Yes, it is actually.
Okay. Feroz, do you hold any Avalanche?
I do.
All right, Crypto Blood, do you hold any Avalanche? You got a little bit? Okay, we all hold a little bit of Avalanche. I'm not saying go out and buy some, but hey, if you want to hold it for a couple years, you probably be okay. Again, not financial advice. That's just what I'm thinking. All right, well, also thinking about Lens Protocol. They just rolled out Bonsai. This is not a tree. This is a blockchain scaling solution for social media. Lens offers a software stack to basically build decentralized social media platforms, any kind of app, any kind of dApp that you want to make. Here, I have some names. These are actually things that are being worked on. Lenster, Lens Booster, Favor, Lensport, LensTube, Risky Click. Don't go there. I don't know what LensTube is. I don't know why it's on here. And Memester, amongst others. They have the CEO of Aave and founder of Lens Protocol, Stani Kulichov, said to be competitive with Web 2, decentralized social platforms must scale with the ability to support mass consumer adoption. Firoz, I mean, that seems like a tall order, right? Just with, I'm thinking of Metcalfe's law. It's not exactly easy to just spin out a social media, then, just accrue 1 billion users. I mean, TikTok was an outlier. I don't know how long it will be before we see something like that again. Do you think there will be any time in the near term, a homespun, basement brewed, decentralized platform? Can it really spin out of something like this, or will it always be, Jack Dorsey, VC funded, $1 billion behind it? I mean, can a grassroots Lens dApp really make an impact?
Look, I mean, coming into a space that's already has a dominant player, okay, it's a big enough challenge as it is. But again, I mean, if you're going to challenge some of these bigger players in the game, what are we getting from decentralized social media apps? Well, I think what we do get potentially is a better way of creating and consuming social media content, for starters, right? Because one thing you need to understand, and ignore Lens Protocol, but look at decentralized social media. I think one of the main things here is that they are based around core principles of Web3. And what are they? We're looking at decentralization. We're looking at openness, interoperability, and obviously one of the key things here is user sovereignty. And I think what we will see is, again, they're going to create a more diverse, inclusive, democratic social media landscape. But saying that, they're gonna have a bit of a run for their money, nonetheless. I like the idea because users are in control. They are in control of their social graphs. They're in control of what they can see, what they want to show, what they, I suppose the main thing is because it's decentralized, there's less likelihood of censorship. I think this is one of the key things that you will see here, because with Twitter, prior to Elon Musk, coming abroad, there have been times where the US government has interceded and asked for certain things to be suppressed, certain algorithms to be pushed up in order to push down certain news. So, when people start seeing and hearing about things like this, it's like, oh wow, so the app that I use every day has actually just only been feeding me what they want to feed me versus what's really relevant to me. And I do think that's where decentralized social media apps, come into their own power. Again, do I think they'll be able to, really go against some of the power users? I don't think so. And one of the main reasons being is, look, we're all in crypto. We kind of live, breathe it 24/7. So when something new and revolutionary comes into the crypto space, albeit under the guise of Web3, we're all up for seeing what it can do and what it's all about. But I think when you look at crypto from, a worldwide perspective, we are really a small fraction of that population. And again, why would somebody who's not into crypto think, oh, you know what, I'm going to move over to Lens Protocol social media app when all my friends and family and are on Twitter, for example? And I think that's always going to be a very challenging angle.
Yeah, I think you brought up a pretty good bull case scenario, though. If there is going to be a reason it happens, it's going to be due to censorship. And we were just talking with the crew. I was talking with the crew, trying to remember the first time I realized how bad censorship was. It wasn't when I saw how Google was, changing results. So when I compared it to DuckDuckGo, first thing I noticed was America's oldest newspaper, the New York Post, had it was a true story about a specific laptop, and it got suppressed all over Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Google, you name it, it was suppressed. And so
couldn't even DM it.
Yeah, if I forgot about that part too. Yeah, you couldn't link anything. So yeah, I would agree, Firoz. If there is an angle, It's going to be anti-censorship. Now, so Crypto Blood, I want to share, this is from their website, lend.xyz. Users own the garden. Own your content, own your social graph, and own your data. As a content creator, how does that make you feel? Does that excite you? I mean, are you and Tucker Carlson going to start using Lens Protocol because you own all these things? I mean, when you see that, does that move the needle?
Not at all. This is a nothing burger, bro. I'm sorry. There is no social media platform that's going to be like the next Facebook, Instagram that's decentralized, because inherently, in my opinion, social media platforms have to have some level of centralization for it
Mhm.
to scale. Okay. So, because you just think about it, if it's decentralized, who is the content curator? Who's the content um, sifter through her? If you want to make up a word, like moderates the content if it's all decentralized. So if it's all decentralized, that means you have to allow hate crime, hate speech. You have to allow each and every person, because where's the line? Where do you draw the line with that? So I don't think we'll ever see a day where you have like a fully decentralized social media platform. For damn sure not here in the United States. They're not going to allow that, in my opinion. The closest we may get, I mean, you saw voice.com try it. There's been so many, man. I've been in the space 10 years now. I think I began to see social media like decentralized platforms maybe year two into the space. May have been some even before that, but I don't think it is going to be anything that is worthwhile. I'm be honest with you. Stick to the Twitter. At least, Elon is at least trying to make it a freer platform for us. So, I mean, I'll take something like Twitter. I'll be cool with that.
All right, same here. I'm still a fan of Twitter. And when you said that, you made me think of like a old timey mine. Someone that's like working the mines for 50 years. Like, I've been in this space for 10 years. Twitter's good enough for me. Twitter's good enough for me as well.
Twitter
All right.
Good enough for me, man.
All right. Well, Frankie, he brings up a couple good points, the governance. I don't even want to get into that just because, it might devolve into things that have to get governed. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. But how do you envision this, ever being able to take down a Facebook, a Twitter? I mean, besides the censorship angle, will regulators allow it? Will they try to fight it? What will that fight look like? I know Zuckerberg is going to be lobbying, hey, we got to shut it down. What ends up happening? I mean, will we see Elizabeth Warren decrying, hey, we got to take down LensTube?
Yeah. Well, first off, I just want to let you guys know, I did just kind of on the side here go to LensTube. Don't go to it. I have to clear my browser history now.
Are you being serious or are you joking?
I'm joking.
Oh my God. I was about to say, I'm telling on you.
Yeah, don't tell Mrs. Candles.
Tim. Well, I was going to tell Tim, but
but yeah, man, to be 100% honest, I mean, I think it is, I basically agree with everyone else. I think it's a really low chance to take out, something like Facebook and especially Twitter now with Elon, like really trying to, help out with the censorship stuff, trying to like let people say what they want. I think it's harder than ever now to take them out. And another thing to realize is, I'm going to take it down the conspiracy theory route a little bit, not too crazy, but yeah, you have to understand that these the mainstream social medias, the Facebooks, the Twitters, these likely, they have political ties, and it's going to be really hard to take these out. And again, I think if there is going to be a social media that's going to kind of fill that void for a decentralized social media, I think. Although we may get these smaller options, but I don't think, number one, they're definitely not going to take out the big guys, especially with Elon now that Elon owns Twitter. And I know a lot of people think he's going to continue to integrate blockchain and Dogecoin into Twitter. I think it's gonna be harder than ever. And even if that wasn't the case, I just think that the powers that be are gonna do everything in their, it's not in their best interest. Just like they're freaking out about anonymity of crypto. Like they don't want you having privacy. They don't want you having decentralized social media. I think it's all I think it's like almost a 0% chance. Especially again, I just harp on Elon now owning Twitter is like I think it's like the most that they're gonna let happen is like, okay, yeah, like Elon, let people say what they want, but like they're not really they're going to try to put the brakes on anything that's truly going to let people access fully decentralized social media. It's going to be a serious battle.
All right, and I believe that's all we have time for. But you know what, Frankie? I'm sorry, Firoz. It is his actual birthday today. It isn't like birthday month, birthday week. It's today. Today is the celebration. 9 months ago, I'm just filling the blanks there. All right. Well, you know what? So I'm going to cheat and steal the victory from Firoz. I know he worked so hard. He had the figures, the 200 billion. You know, he did his research, for crying out loud, and we still rug pull him. We still pulled a rug pull.
Hey, it's crypto, guys. It's crypto.
This is crypto. Hey, we just made Firoz a better trader. All right. So, Frankie, feel free. Take it away. Leave us with a special birthday parting message.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm getting stage fright. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm actually going to be live in like 15 minutes on my channel, Frankie Candles. Maybe someone could drop the link in the description or in the chat. Come check me out. We're about to do 2 hours of TA. I might dip out a little bit early to go get a birthday dinner with Mrs. Candles. But thank you for having me on. Super fun as my first guest appearance here on ATB. Shout out to the guests and shout out to you, DZ. I appreciate you.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could let you leave early for a birthday dinner this time. But not again. Not next year. Not next year. All right. That's all we have time for today. Guys, make sure you go hit those like buttons. Links should be in the description. Check out Frankie's channel. Check out Firoz. Check out Crypto Blood. Check out those 5 trades he's in. I'm curious. I want to know what they are. And Firoz always dropping the alpha. He's dropped it several times on this channel. So you definitely want to follow his content. That's all we got. Until next time, very birthday shout out to the Candle Squad. Easy out.